solely working towards holding officials, government, aspiring officers, to make sure the lives of the citizenry is improved. After thanking your presence, the media houses, and we thank Mr. DJ for that nice and emotional song that align with our vision. We pray, take 1 minute to pray in silence before I introduce those on the panel, representatives of the organization. We pray that all prayers be accepted. I am Mr. Dudu now, chairing the program in my capacity as a technical advisor to the Coalition of Progressive Gambians. To my right, we have Mr. Celestine Kujabi, who is the Secretary General of the organization. And to my left, we have PRO, Mr. Lamin Fafa Bojang. We also have in our midst, to the further right, Mr. Alex Bass, who is also the Media and Communication Coordinator. We also have, to the far right, Mr. Demba Drame, who is the Youth Coordinator. Regional Youth Coordinator. Thank you, Paddy. To my second left, we have Mr. Modu Koka, who is also Diaspora Coordinator, head of the Diaspora Coordinator based in the US. And we also have, to the far left, Mr. Njanko Sise Usman Janko, who is the Assistant Secretary to Celestine Kujabi. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, we all know that it is important to have a pressure group and civil society organizations in democratic countries who are not vying for office, but also making sure that any official works in the best interest of the nation. As we always say, the state operates for the people, for the interest of the people, but not the people operates for the interest of the state. And I would say that, ladies and gentlemen, Gambians at home and abroad, we must observe, we must make sure that we put all hands on deck in every capacity that we are in to ensure that we participate in the election of our leaders. We must take responsibility. We must be accountable to the people. Every Gambian, wherever you are, can play a part in the development of their nation. We need your support. We need your alignment, your compliance, in order to pursue our vision. The Coalition of Progressive Gambians do all it can and willing to do more in the coming years, especially in this election year. We encourage you as Gambians to make sure you participate in the governance as a pillar for democracy. Accountability only is not enough. Transparency is important. And for that to happen, we have to respect the rule of law. Above all, it can only happen when we all participate. Then I will hand over the mic to our able secretary, who will then give the main statement, the main press statement to the audience. Thank you. Thank you.
For any credible good governance and progress. Since its inception, the Coalition of Progressive Gambians has been at the forefront of advocating for transparency, accountability, and good governance in the Gambia. We've over the years challenged the government to take concrete steps against corruption and injustice, posing 9 critical points, demands which affect every Gambian. These 9 points, which are yet to be met, are the basis for any meaningful development and progress. The Copg, or the Coalition of Progressive Gambians, has also mobilized citizens in November 2024 and 2025 to push for the revival of the 2020 draft constitution, which champions independent institutions and checks on executive power, rejecting the 2024 version seen as a threat to democracy. We are also challenging the 2023 Amendment Act, seen at the moment at the Supreme Court of the Gambia. An act which gives the President additional powers to pardon those adversely mentioned in the Janneh Commission. The removal of the Auditor General, a move that can slide our country into authoritarianism, is and continues to be our concern, and we continue to call for his reinstatement to uphold accountability. Looking ahead, the Coalition of Progressive Gambians will advocate for people-centered constitutional reforms as the 2020 draft constitution, continue to mobilize peaceful protests on issues like the cost of living and corruption. We will engage stakeholders, civil society, and partners to amplify transparency and justice and continue to monitor government actions, demanding reforms in security and public finance. The recent plight of the illegal migration embarked upon by our youth population is a great loss to our country, as they form a major percentage of our population and the cream of our country's future. We extend our condolences to the families who lost their loved ones throughout these past years. We as concerned citizens urge families and youth to avoid these perilous voyages and take responsibility of making sure those they entrust the responsibility of governance and their welfare live to their expectation or be held accountable. This again brings me to something very important that I have to talk about, and that is, in any home you see the young running out from the house into the fire, definitely there is something wrong with the home and the house. And the parents of that home or house need to be questioned as to why their youth, their kids or their children are running out of the house into the fire. Because we all know the youth know what they face in these perilous voyages, but they still continue to venture on these dangerous voyages through the Mediterranean Sea. So I think it's time to question our leaders and hold them to account. And we are calling on all youths in this country, now that we are in 2026 and it's election year, let them take their responsibility and make sure they hold those public officials that come to them for their votes to account, question them as to what they have in place. We've heard how much has been allocated to the youth or Ministry of Youth and Sports, which is a meager amount compared to the rate and percentage of the youth population of this country. This is election year, and we hope the citizenry will be able to make responsible choices come December. We put emphasis on the fact that wards are empty. Gambians need to avoid leaning on empty promises without reason. A saying goes that a promise is a comfort to a fool. We have been fools for long, and it's time to show those political leaders that we really want change and we want to see the progress of our dear motherland. We invite all Gambians to join this journey towards a just, equitable, and prosperous nation. As we call for action, we want action, results, and we want them now. Again, I want to emphasize our disappointment on all the political parties that are vying to lead this country. We are telling them that if they really care about the Gambian people and they really care about system change, they need to come up with something that reassures Gambians that there is going to be proper system change. Because for the coalition of Progressive Gambians, there can never be system change without constitutional reforms. The laws we have now can never change the system. The only way to change the system, and that's what we are crying for as a coalition for progress, is the 2020 draft constitution. If not, we have seen no way that there is going to be change. If there should be credible system change. We have been disappointed for 2 occasions. In 2024 November, 2025 November, we came out to protest for this 2020. But no political party, no other pressure group came to join us. We questioned them. What system change are they talking about? How are they going to change the system when they are not out to change those laws that can bring that system change? Because there is no possible system change if those laws that are supposed to define that change are not there. We need them to understand this now and let them come on board and tell us how they are going to change the system without the 2020 draft constitution. I thank you for listening, And I hope this message goes to all Gambians, irrespective of their political affiliation, and to all CSOs. Thank you for listening.
Badingol mini ya lonko bankola kwe sule nata be jambi aning altol journal sol mini ya lonko ngal kumandi purale na alial dabula coalition of progressive Gambia be simfa min takan pour banko dum sa kalamta abe kelo natol koma waya sabu ngal kumandi no alla kumandiro fana alnate danku akontano wartan fe bake kal tentu kal jayi ani Gambia di wo Gambia di natal nyimban ko la sini samo e sula coalition of progressive Gambia ka kumandiro min ke ike dankuila mbal tentu la mbal jayi lan kam min folon dro mbe sela kan ko den ko Gambia ko le so yakka la bankola kola bar fanan nga sonko nyimban kon tolle ba falinna ntolle nga molke palaso mi ya lon ko me fanke no je ndi dike fanke no je o ta se kuma ya bake ni mo ke palaso to ya pare ka loka kontibo hani bidiko mi mu bidiko ni mo ke je marchandise bi je wati ka kontibo kele nyinni ya sabu coalition of progressive Gambia wati ka fundi kan na to mondiri mol kontibo madama cartel ka bila mol ke palaso to wajibo le wo mol kan kete mari kontibo palaso mi ya lon ka bakar fadi bulu bayri ni ba dire ka fenne foye woto wala hidol kan ke wala kam maje asa kuma ya bake Gambe dungole pare ya loke la to mondiri mol kontibo kuma kan wala surtout ni be palaso karfalele ke la hidol min taye wala asabu coalition progressive Gambia ka ko we are here to stay to hold our public officials accountable, especially on their campaign promises. Okamala bifanam benta jang sango falinta mbe sanyi mo e coming for 2026 kono kana nimban kunungale kacha simfalu anil lord la mi alon ko be nga so banko la koto mim banko mi alon ko be dentala coalition of progressive Gambia kabili lota kana to bila 2022 kana mbe bimin kono na simfalu anina lotan kaw min di wolandi ko kanna tombondiri mol kondibo palaso lenga min karfela oto akumbata bake coming na press release o ya atandi nyame pour ka summarize dron mimmi je wolandi don ka be ka fu nyoma be ta folano bar mimmi je min kumbata bi lotan kaw min di wolandi ko Gambe di ngolu the coalition progressive Gambe be chodro ke kan ko kula be diam kan ko kula banko be la kola ni aji ben na point kononton ka me di point ni 9 point demands na min landi ndel do ko ke kam min nambe chodro ke kam min na min do tan kam mo minti woye banko bele ma banko di idabi jele oto silang wajibo lam be ngan dabula wo koto bayrin kamin fo be chodro ke kam min na banko bele kola o kamala ni ajen ka pare ninga foni nasara kamala nta pare kana ka nyambas ni na kawala moja may min moy bayri kibaro nyin kalafi akata mini ya mimu banko dingol di ya long mol min benta jang mine bendi bokum mata bake o kamala coalition progressive Gambia be simfa ita kan kol do masa kunda be minta mandi kan anim fana man kontani minila be simfa ta ka walla ya sabu wato dolin ka fundi nga balemba yake komi banko sartoli ala ni banko mara kitabu ala ni nyame mfundi de jenne fanan na balemba yake kuolan ko banko titano limmal luwa kendo sodo luwa kendo banko dum nyinin kata wallan ka fa de drafo 2020 mi ya lonko akuma yata bake ndung banko titano limmal luwa kendo sodo nyinni ya sabu nga sanji monni formarro danjang in 2016 la dan dalilo min kama manke ko masakunda nyaada le falling aninto nko complete system change ani reform so ke after the change of government from dictatorship nyinni ya sabu Gamben ko le falling in 2016 o mara kitabo min mudi drafo 2020 nyinni ya sabu coalition progressive Gamben ko luwatina walla banko de tano nimmal luwa kendo so do luwa kendo be mina kono wo the draft for 2020 wala chodro ko wala nyini ya sabu al nyini kata banko kanja ani banko e bantala al ko Allah taala man nyame CRC wala ke the draft for 2020 kono wota ni wona da fay banta ntol ko be maraka minna ndaka nyi fonko nandirola banku dingole Gambian ko le nyimu nandirol de Gambia dingole ka me hansa after sanjitang Gambian ko be marka 1997 marka kitabola mi yem busa jang ayem fa ayem borni ay yemandi hansa molbe yemandi nyimba ko kan jang fe ma sa fo loi kurungol min ya lon ko walle mar jang mimu 1997 marka kitabola bal mimu bala fati wala ndiko pese mbana la mansa kunda min be sirin bi kabribi nan taran na satel na tundol kan under the banner of coalition in 2016 ko nyala ko ni tol nata ibe loi bu ko sambal nan min be maral nya sambal nan mi ya lonko abani nan la kununa wala maral kitabu kudo ni nam la hido min fonni o maral kitabu kudo wala the draft for 2020 but balafa warsa ila intereso kan ani la jibada ani mol min ya lonko imam bankoje ibe borke kumale Gambian ko le falling coming in 2016 ye fa nyina ni wala based on their own personal interest ya fa banta ni ne asa coalition progressive Gambian ko ku natara banko bet sabati la tonyale kan ani luwa tama ali banko dingol kango memo di dafo 2020 ala samana ni ne asa bun tolma murun ko man dunte murna ko ma wala be banko dingol ko man la alna ka fun kan ngamingo mi wosi ngamingo mi fo banko be la kolang ni da jibe fana na kiti ko kiti bu ngoton comme man kontani man sakunda simfa minta simfa juma wala ndiko jana commission la lota jang falin kola in 2016 pour que kisisiro ke man sakunda min be nun jan sanyi mo ni fulo ko ye banku dungala na fulo ya tamani nyaadile on na fulo tamata nyamin jana commission do ko kola yela soutero ke ya tongola mol kan nata masakunda je loi sambe dipte bungoto fo aya sabu ay sembo di fo dipte le tamandro ke loi la mi sembo di fo aya sabu personal e moli ayafote moli mini alon ko jana commissioner tongola welcome do siya coalition progressive Gambia comme man kontan tol fe ani loi manta waya sabu na kitio ko skiti bungoto jana commissioner la soutero nko masakunda simvaminta ka tongo bondi mol kam min yalon ko tongola wol kan ko ngata kidi bu ngodo ban comme loi fo nyame banko dungol ni kuje mi yalon kan ni silo manta ku fula bi so kenole coalition progressive Gambia wo simfal be ta kan nyim banko kan janne ka fundi ka peaceful plan protection ke anin ka kidi ko si wo kidi wala be la kidi bu ngodo tongo mi yalon ko masakunda through the parliament ya tongo bondi jane commissioner le tongola mol min kay ko imanye na do ko kala wala imanye na public official mutala وكمل the coalition progressive Gambia coming lon nyamem be dunta samin ko wala be samin ko carte fa sangolom bari Gambia kol hakil to sitam bema mi ya lon ka warta ba bayni falin jara dalilol min kam anin be tama kan nyamen anin alhaal be ken banko kan amam mo kumba bele nyaabala mo bi ka fo moye Gambia fondin telbe fa kam ba kono alama nemanin kafar kala mole min yalon ko ele dimbal niyoto do kono bari comme secteur general afo nyamin dron niya fonnin kel jebe banko bulala balubi je saabi je wululal kala nafulo bondi ikela kodal kundu ikela ni solo bondi koredo musol kala sonol bondi la kunel kono balubi je saabi je ka fa dingol ko alta nyinin karobi je mi warta ba mine wo sabu fankaso balubi je saabi je fonninke haniya mini murundam be ba may kay ka ko sama ni silo so bita mine wasa al halal mi mekerim banko kan oto bela wajibo wala ngimbari Gambien kolu ka kafunyo kan banko la intereso kan ngale ko ala manta mojin lana santo ala manta mojin dila malaika manta jila mimbe al halal mi mekerim banko kan jampul ka falinni mbe taka min kono min ya lankan tolen ngeke palaso fanga pare ngalon singla ne kontibo palaso la min ka wala sabu coalition progressive Gambia ko we are here to stay and we are ready to hold our public officers accountable to no in collaboration with banku dingol bele dabe nyin ko kono ko Gambia ka fole tan konta do fanan ka tan tol min be ka fona Gambia kilindi jamin ka fo do tante woto mbela ka fo nyokan mbenga la nyokan ka bankola intereso tammini comme coalition progressive Gambia be tamandro min ke gambe chodro ke kan kuol min be pontro be na point kono do mi yalon ko ngalandi ndum wo amam banku din kilin kar woto beele ñante dabula ñin ka fola koto kaje ko hamenta min na bankola koto woy soto katantiro ni jayro kafu walla ka fay mol kam min ya lonko wato nin coalition progressive Gambia kumandiro ke e kane danku anin altol jonal sol min ya lonko altol le mu bundade min ka kibaro janjani ka futa mol la min ya lonko nin ñin lu sifal kumandite bi kana ma be no je bar nal ya janjani kibar bungol do anin kaytol do mo jama ke mu na fangala e kalo min be teru banko kan kal tendu kal jayi ala baraka
Celestine Kujabi gannaaw bu mu nuyoo mbooloo bi mu ngi doon wax ci li nga xam ne mooy ne at mi ñu tegmal nii at mi ñu dugal nii gannaaw bu mu nuyoo ñëpp tatagal ñëpp ci at mu ees mi ñaanal ñëpp mu ne li nga xam ne moom mooy suñ mébét mooy fàttali te beesal suñ éene ci askan wi ne ñun li nga xam ne moo ñu tax a jóg rek mooy pour liggéeyal réew mi topp ñi nga xam ne ñooy liggéeyal askan bi ñoom ñoo jël ne dañoo liggéeyal askan bi wala dañ leen elect wala dañ leen appoint waaye ñooñu li nga xam ne ñu ngi koo def ci yoon ñu gërëm ko li nga xam ne defuñ ko ci yoon it dinañ ko yéebaane ba tax na li nga xam ne moo ci gën a fés muy corruption bi ñoo wax ne mu ku nekk pour kenn si réew mi ak li nga xam ne yaaxa gi si réew mi ak jafe-jafe bi nga xam ne nit ñi ñu ngi koo jànkuwante si réew mi loolu bokk na ci li tax coalition of Progressive Gambians ñoom it génn mbooloo di liggéey at yi yëpp bokk na ci draft constitution 2020 bi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko doon taxawee pour def li nga xam ne mooy li ci xel yi ñi nga xam ne ñooy àttekat yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy ñu toogal ca pencum réew ma ak ñi nga xam ne mooy njiiti réew exécutif bi ñu àndal ñëpp ñu ñëw nangu doone dañ war a change constitution indi 2020 bi nga xam ne moom constitution boo xam ne la dina doon di nekk luy saafara suñ mébét yu bari ak suñ métti yu bari waaye loolu amut li nga xam ne indi nañ ko muy woon di 2024 bi nga xam ne dañ ko bañoon ci daaw ñëpp bañ ko amut ci loolu ñu am ay wëcceeku yuñ def bi ci gën a fës jamono bi sax mooy li ñoo ooyee commission of inquiry amendment bill ñu ñëw def ko yokk ci section 19 20 ak 21 te lim lu lim taxawal rek mooy génne ñi nga xam ne ñooy attekat yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo war a am mandarga pour atte wala pour nangu li nga xam ne lu daan yooyu lañ teg ñooñu nga xam ne ñoom ñoo luubal alali askan wala ñoo yàqal liggéeyi askan ñu ne commission of inquiry amendment act boobu noonu ñu ne dañoo génne ñooñu ci constitution bi ni mu ko waxee muy section 204 1997 constitution def ko mu nekk loo xam ne dafa nekk act of parliament président bi am doole loolu tam coalition of Progressive Gambian bi mu mel ni léegi président bi rek mun na laa baalal jarul sax ngay dem si court yi te ku nekk xam na loolu lu mu ñoo jëriñ ñu ne li nga xam ne ba tey coalition of Progressive Gambia bokk na ci seen liggéey liñ def ci at yi passé di wax ci li nga xam ne moom mooy di 9 points yi nga xam ne suñ communication coordinator dina fi waxtaan tuuti jafe-jafe réew mi di jànkuwanteel ku nekk gis na fi ñu toll nii ci Westfield tey soo gëstoo nii rek gis nga yoon bi every day nii la diggante ñeneenti waxtu ba juróom-ñaari waxtu ku wàcc liggéey Banjul du eggali kiram ba juróom-ñetti waxtu suba ku fi taxaw 6 ba 9 doo am sax oto pour dem liggéey yii nii yëpp dañ ko séntu pour mu nekk loo xam ne jumtuwaayu askan wi la ànd ak seeraayu réew mi ànd ak jafe-jafe ñàkk a liggéey xale yi loolu yëpp secrétaire général laal na ci di wane ne kon ñun nga xam ne pressure groupe lañ taxawuñ pour élection yi kenn waaye nag lu baax dinañ ko tàcc waaye lu baaxut it dinañ ko wax kon li ñoo wax nag xam naa ci lu baaxut moo gën a bari ndax lu baaxut boo fi ëppa kon dafa mel ni kon ñun dañoo nekk ci side anti système bi waaye ñun ànd ñoo benn political party endoo suñ benn political party nekku ñoo benn political party fi ñu toll nii li ñoo def rek mooy highlightal nit ñi wax nit ñi li nga xam ne ñun moo ñu tax a jóg nga xam ne sax xëy na politicien ci léegi-léegi ñu oversight ko wala léegi-léegi ñu ñàkk koo wax waaye ñun li ñoo wax yëpp pour njëriñi askan bi la pour bugg a askan bi am seen dunda bu tane kon bokk na ci li nga xam ne tamit muy xale ndaw yi nga xam ne ñu ngi génn réew mi di uti si biti loolu yi tamit li ko waral mooy ñàkk luñ jàpp si biir réew mi fii ba tax na gis nañ fan yi rek lu daw yaram suñ njiiti réew génn na wax na ne moom loolu du responsabilité am ndax responsabilité waajur yooyu la man dama ne kay responsabilité am la ñun sax ñun coalition of Progressive Gambians dañ wax ne kay illegal migration backway bi yooyu yëpp responsabilité am la ndax moom mooy njiitu réew te xale yi ku leen jurul sax war nga leen a yërëm ndax amuñ luñ jàpp te amuñ si luñ nekka kon tax na loolu moo gën a tax ñuy dem pour uti dara waaye ñu fexe xool leen accountable ba nga xam ne dinañ fi def dara loo xam ne xale yi nañ si jàppate toog ndax ku nekk xam na ne jaar ci yoon bii yooni gannaaw bii ñàkk sa àddina teelal ñàkk sa àddina loolu dara jaru ko kon ba tey du leen encourage si dem bi baakuwe bi waaye ñu ngi wax tam nguur ne ñu jël responsibility ndax responsibility dafa ñëw ak accountability bi ñu doon wax sànga ko defee ñu dimbale xale yi across the Gambia 7 regions of the country wala 8 regions of the country su ko defee ndaw yooyu ñu identify leen ñu utal leen si luñ jàppa su ko defee loolu dina wàññi dem bi ndax nga dem ba am nekk mu kalaf am fukki at ak dara wala ñaar fukki at toog ci sa roon yaay ak sa yoon papa war a am jabar am doom war a indi dara si kër gi ngay xëy suba su nekk ñu ngi laa jox loolu dafa métti ci xol te loolu lu ko waral mooy ñàkk a def jumtuwaay yi nga xam ne moo war a nekk in place through the local authorities yi nga xam ne moo nekk ci réew mi pour loolu nga xam ne dinañ ko saafara kon mbokk yi ba tey rek ci li nga xam ne moom la secrétaire général doon wax ba léegi mu ne élection year bii nii mu ne mu ngi ñaax Gambien si yëpp ñu bàyyi seen xel ci ñi nga xam ne ñooy dem si ñoom di wax ne dañ bëgg a ñu hôtel leen ndax hôtel koo xam ne hôtel bi ba nga ko hôtelee ak léegi da ngaa laaj sa boppa yow ba nga ko hôtelee ak léegi lan la la jëriñ ak kii ñëw ci yow ne la nga hôtel ko te mosuloo ko hôtel soo ko votalee kooka lan la laa jëriñ kooku lan la mun pour def kooku si lan la nekkoon ndax ñu ne cin su naree neex rek su baxee xeeñ kon ki nga xam ne dafa nekk si koñ bi amu fa njëriñ béyiwut jaayiwut jàngale jiwut defut dara su ñëwee ne nga woteel ko élection kon kooku soo ko woteelee yaa tooñ sa boppa ndax li bugga mooy nga dem woteel ko élection mu nekk councilor wala mu nekk mayor wala mu nekk national assembly member wala mu nekk sax président su ko boobaa moom ak njabootam ñoom ñooy teeda yow nga des gannaaw kon baax na pour moo tax ñun ñëpp ñu war a bokk ci liggéey bi nga xam ne moom la coalition of Progressive Gambians oote jàppa leaders yi nga xam ne ak aspirant leaders yi nga ba nga xam ne dina nekk li nga xam ne du dem si promise bi nga xam ne dafaa nekk rek pour naxtaan ndax olof yi daanañ wax ne ba tey lekkati béy naka la tuddaa di lekkati kese naxut béy kon ba tax na ñun ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñooy def loolu kon ñooy oote ñu bàyyi si xel bu baax a baax ba nga xam ne suñ politiciens yooyu ñëwee soxla ñu nañ nangutoo nañ seet nañ seega juumte yi fi passé yépp mun na ñu dellu si gannaaw ñu xool li nga xam ne juum nañ ko fii ndax there is always a solution waaye ñun ñooy solution bi te ñun solution bi ni ñu ko mën a defee mooy maanaam saafara gi mooy ñun ñëpp ñu bokk a gis-gis bokk a xalaat bokk a éene ba kenn du ñu mu ko mën a continuer di nax kon mbokk yi loolu mooy li nga xam ne rek ci somari li nga xam ne secrétaire général Mr Celestine Kujabi wax na ko fi kon mbokk yi li maa def rek mooy ma continuer programme bi the next statement after speaking in Wolof Mandinka to our audience. I am now going to the next part of the program, which is giving the mic to the Communications and Media and Communications Coordinator, Mr. Alex Bass.
I am going to be very brief. Otherwise, I will ask my chairperson to hold me accountable, because when you see an old teacher talking, he can talk a lot. So I promise I will not keep you long. I want to seize this opportunity to appreciate the media personnel that are here today and to thank you for your presence, because without which our message would not be disseminated. It is important and of profound appreciation from the COPD that we want to thank you very much for being here, because your role here in disseminating this message that we have for the Gambian people is very, very vital, and that we must try as much as possible so that all Gambians get this message, because it is important that we get it. Now, to start with, I want to say I have a very common saying that I normally start my programs with. I said, it has more power that which shakes the shaking than the one that is shaking. What I'm trying to say here is, li yengu liko yengala ko upadole. Yani all of tedega ko. Here we are here. I am going to elaborate on the 9 points, because once a very great writer once said, and I quote, who is Chinua Achebe. He says, the lizard that falls from the high Iroko tree says it will praise himself even if no one else did. Because the Iroko tree is known to be a very high one. So when it jumps from there and falls to the ground, if you don't say thank you, it will thank itself. Now the COPD has engaged in these 9 points. Why am I saying this? Because these 9 points are the basis for which we are here. Hence the jingle you've heard playing. I'm going to name them one by one, and I want you people, please, to report it the way it is, because Gambians need to know what is happening. Number 1, the immediate return of the 2020 Constitution. Why are we asking for this? I think it's simple and clear, as you have heard from the chairperson. The Constitution must come back, because power corrupts, and total power, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now, we cannot have one person being the judge and the jury. We want the 2020 Constitution to come into place so that nobody sits and perpetuates himself. And when I say perpetuating yourself, it does not only mean the president. There are people who would retire from their workplaces, yet they would still take 2 or 3 years contract. Why? There are young ones coming up. So we want to make a level playing ground. So let people be fair to themselves. If you have served, go. You should be able to live with a term limit. And this 2020 Constitution is the only thing that guarantees that. The 1997 and whatever they have right now is only perpetuating people who are there, putting people in place who are not supposed to even occupy public offices, but they are there. How do we go about that? This is the responsibility of all Gambians. This is why I said I'm not going to take long, but I'm going to be very, very precise. It's just going to be a synopsis of all these 9 points. The second point would be the recognition of the people as the ultimate authority. Let's take an example of our own homes. You are in your house. You are the dad. You want to be the alpha and the omega. You want to cook, you want to dish, you want to bring the food. You will not be able to do everything. You have to disseminate information. You have to disseminate power. So give the people the right to choose. A government cannot choose the IGP. A government cannot choose the one who is responsible for our elections. A government cannot dictate the people. You must give the power to people. Hence, it is power for the people and by the people. That is point number 2. This is what we are saying. It's a big disappointment that the youth who are supposed to be taking from us are not here. But yes, this is where I task the media houses to go out and disseminate this information. Put it on television. Put it on the media. Let them read it so that they would know that politics is not about where my father belongs. It's about what is right to do. Number 3, a credible and independent constitutional process. We have seen what is happening. Take an example what is happening right now in Venezuela or other places. You have won elections. So you must understand that if you are voted and time is up, you must know how to leave office and leave it good. Do not perpetuate yourself, because that breeds dictatorship. I go to point number 4. Protection of presidential term limit. I want to elaborate on this thing very, very much. Because you see, whatever you see, whatever you plow is what you will reap. You have a presidential term. Why do people want to stay in office for so long? What is the problem? You came because there was somebody. You should go and somebody must come. It's like the family house. Your father, your grandfather was there, he has gone. Your dad is there, he will go. You will take over. You will also go. Let us not perpetuate ourselves. Presidents must know when to leave. As my lauded speaker always says, I listen to him very much, Patrice P.L.O. Lumumba. He says, no matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage. No matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage. Otherwise you become monotonous. People will start to say, ki soft na, na fi joge, da hu fi ken fecha. Feka so em on chilinga em, do don deme nunu. That is what we are saying. Presidents must know that when it is time to go, you must go. And this is not to this person, it's not only to president, everybody who is occupying office. If your time reaches, please leave. The 5th point is strengthening separation of powers. Very important. One person cannot be the judge and the jury. You must separate powers. Okay? The judicial system must be independent. Every system here has to be independent. No one person can dictate. Otherwise, there is no law. And this is what we have seen going. You cannot elect the Supreme Court judge. Why? He who plays the piper plays the tune. If you elect that person will never go against you. So we want people to be also part of what is happening here. And we have been living under this umbrella for so long. When are we going to come up? This is why I'm now challenging you, the youth, including the media. You are also part of the youth. Let us come out in our numbers. When Copg calls, we are not calling to perpetuate ourselves in power. We do not want public offices. We do not want to be presidents or ministers. We want to hold those people to account. We want to make sure whatever they say during their electoral campaigns, they stick to them. Otherwise, we will take them wherever it takes to take them. And that is why Copg is here. We are not here to look for offices. All of us who you are seeing here, some of us are in the diaspora, some of us have our own businesses. We do not depend on the government. In fact, the government depends on us because we pay tax, and because of those taxes, they are paying their employees. So we should be respected as well. And that is why we are saying we are calling you people to come on board. Number 7 will be the electoral and institutional reforms. Very, very important. I am just treading on the footsteps that my secretary had already said. You see, there cannot be any electoral reforms if the laws that are supposed to protect it and guide it are not there. And because they are not there, they will always come up with anything. Like anybody will tell you, so that is what it is. We must be guided by law. And because there are no good laws, we'll continue to do what we are supposed to do. We'll always continue to do exactly what is the opposite of what the people want. We the people we are the people who, without us there is no government. Government is because we are. So without us there is no government. What are we doing to make sure that those things are put in place and the law is respected and honored as it is supposed to be, rather than one person being the alpha and the omega, the one who would decide where to sit, when to sit, and how to go about what you do. Number 8, transparency and accountability. You see, there is sometimes when I talk, I laugh about this thing: transparency and accountability. You see, when you come to the media, and because you have power on the media and you can come and say what you want, don't think that you can fool anybody. If you are not transparent, everybody knows. Even the small boy at home knows when a dad is transparent or not. Transparency, accountability, where do you spend our money? For example, if GRA tells me today they have a target of 27 billion, they could have had that in the past 5 years. Why was it not collected? Are we going to just account from this year going upwards? Do you want us to thank you because you are targeting 25 billion this coming year? That 25 billion was there last year, year before last, the past 5 years. Why was it collected? Why was it not collected? This is the problem. Don't think that you can come and just talk to us and say, no, we have a target of 25 billion, and then you collect 27 and you come to the radio and you say, we have collected 27, we have passed what our target is. My friend, you are not talking to young people. You are not talking to children. If you can collect 27 today, you could have collected it 5 years ago. It's the same Gambia. If businesses have added up, there could have been an addendum, a little bit of it, but not all these monies that have gone to the drain. This is just an excuse to perpetuate yourself into power and to think that people will say, yes, he's doing well. No, go. Somebody must come and take your place so that we can have accountability. This is what we are talking, and that is what COPD is here for. Number 9. Roadmap, clear roadmaps. If you come to lead a country, you see, this is where I'm calling on you. When a politician comes and stands to you and tells you, I will give you 5 million when I take office, why didn't he give it to you before taking office? Don't you know that it is your money he's using? That's not his money. And why those promises? We want clear road, accountable. All right? We need to have a roadmap. Where is it that we are heading to? Where are we coming from? How are we going to get there? Very important. Otherwise, don't vote. And make sure you are convinced by a manifesto. All political parties must stand in front of the television and face the Gambian public and tell them exactly what it is their roadmap. Where are they coming from? How are they going to get to where they are going? And what will they do when they get there? Very, very important. And the last but not the least, I think I've already exhausted the 9 points. Now I just want to say a short thing before I go. I want to urge everybody here, especially you, the media who is around here, to please disseminate this. Gambians are still to get to know what pressure groups are. The last time I was talking to a friend and he says to me, I hope you are not vying for office. No, we don't want offices. We want those offices to be corrected. How many times have you gone to an office and you see an official on his table taking drinks, having his or her breakfast on the same table that he works on? How many times? If you find yourself affected, make a change. And if you find that happening, stop it. There is a break period for every official. Leave that office and go and sit in the canteen, have whatever you have to have and come back. That is what is required. So we must take accountable, and that is all for you. Youth must know what they fight, how they fight it, with discipline, no insults. Then this way we will be able to get where we are going. I want to thank you once and for all and to tell you that COPG is here to stay, and we are urging you, the youth, to come and join us so that we can fight this fight together, because together we can make it work. Thank you so much.
It's what they're supposed to do. So we are here to make sure we talk about it. High cost of living is a problem, and that is what affects Gambians directly. I learned that average Gambian salary is $3,000. $3,000. People are earning $3,000 in this country. Civil servants. And they still clap and say it's okay, it's going well. We need to be thinking big. Because a bag of rice, which is our staple food in this country, is imported, most of them imported. Over 70% of the rice that we use here is imported. It costs minimum $2,500 for 50 kilos. And that for a family will take a month. So if you add in 3,000, what's left? You have a wife or a child or a husband living with mom and dad who are pensioners. So it's not okay, Gambians. We must know that it's not okay. We can change that. And by changing it is the accountability that we need to put in place. Join hands together, have the same vision for a better nation. We've seen the implementation of the Janneh Commission, how it went. We've seen what happened recently, investigation into investigation, the thieving from the thieves. We've seen the kidney injury, the case is still on, pending, going on inside and out of the courts, no compensation that is substantial for the affected people. We have also seen the millions that went into secret accounts, like the 600 million that went into secret accounts. We've seen the 35 million that first went into an account in 2018. I mean, the list goes on. The breaking down, the burning down of the fishery department. Yeah. We've seen that. Why? What happened? Was it for a reason? Was it accidental? Nobody knows. We've seen the Banjul rehabilitation project, the amount of millions that went in there. This last rainy season, how we were affected. We even seen crocodiles coming out into the streets. I mean, the TRRC recommendations, nowhere to be seen. It's under the carpet since being handed over. And of course, the negligence that happened in the auditor's report, the Auditor General removal, as my colleagues mentioned, all these things are concerns for Copg. And these are all things that affect you as Gambians. So all we are saying is, we will be here to guide you. We are here to stand for you, and we are not asking to be elected, but we will be asking you to support whoever we believe will be in line with our demands. As Gambians, we also have rights to associate. We also have political rights. Despite this voluntary work we do for you, we will also be taking it as our responsibilities to make sure that we guide you. Gambians, please, that $500 you give or given to you just for a voter card, and you stay another 5 years hungry, you stay another 5 years not being able to go to the very good hospital or private clinic, you spend another 5 years, your child leaving school without a job, you spend another 5 years not even having a proper square meal a day. We want you to look again and think again. Your vote is your voice. It doesn't matter who the person.
Very important to know. This is why I think I made it clear here that we are asking those, and we are telling governments to ask those political leaders who are coming to them, how are they going to effect that system change? Because when we came out in 2024, if Gambians were to listen to us, by now we would have got a new constitution. But it seems Gambians were reluctant. to come out and join us. They did not understand what we understood at that time, that it is only by a new constitution that we can get what we want. And by now, we would have got a coalition if there was this 2020 draft constitution. But today, there is a fear by most of these political parties that if they form a coalition with any other political party, there may be the betrayal as in 2016. So definitely.
Bara fa warta ba jam sambal ko ya ko yana dron na SDA fo nga kumandiro ke ngana media ite media ni ngara ke ten kwaso progressive gambe platform jamale so don ni de min tala no tema kanni ni kan ko la wala na progressive gambe ni bango kanya ifundi ta kamade bar wo progressive yalo mo de ta million wala diko progressive mete kon ka kala dan ko dara wala ka diyen ne ka fundi hani kula ka dara kerin ka fundi wala kwa hizo progressive gambe ka fundi wo fundi ka professor kala ka pamido nyini ka fundala alon ko banko di mo bela sula dala surtout ngani mara kidabo minna ko ndol funda dana ko draft 2020 lata wala muruna yalo wo draft 2020 way mi fulu way fudro ka minna wala sa gambe di mo nyina ndi kuruna andi wala fa na sa sabati ndo ka dalila mi asabu na fali 2016 by the way, show go Camilla, the Amokana Frederico, and 10 crosses mean go Okona. The Amo and 10 crosses, one Bunda Media Lonko, Ilafala, Walema, Lafa, Elenia, because in the way for him, Madame Mamuru, Mokamina, Wallaka take it. Going through referendum. Ning, one of the Sabbath in the Williams and Lola. Kuoku Nata, Bankuru, count on the Walko, left the Walla, Yamarawalla. Ning falling over Kalawalla, Ananta Munda, Wolkan. The draft of 2020, Chodraka Walambalo, Nabi, and Nimuba Baker, why you would Kurumbel and Aka Funyokan Kajako, Kawako, Kawalunka, Lunan Town. But I bought our bucket. Ninga Kumandroke, Gambia with the Danku, Zolbika Wajako, Kula Mialanko, Akanyuka Hani. By the Mika for Cham Kunda, one Lambika for Boyan Kunda, one Lanka for Balakunda, go. Quasi progressive Gambia call. Alna balang pesa banana na masakundia media marikita kwa misa America for the castle draft for 2024 yanta for banda memo the draft for 2020 yalo world Gambia bela kumalisila Gambia bela ndene hay dankula kabiri civil society group lombang political party lombang bankote yirwala no nimman luwa kendol soro nyindi asabu ko Jamela Marakidabo, Kafa, Jamela Marakidabo, only with the Davo 1997, me as Sabin Kowanko. I have fallen a media can be a Sinyatan receive. Tendevo, a market bank in the Sokan, I can't plus a Marno Yami. Very welcome in the Nina Sama Falike. But a couldn't mean Mamma Fonga Falike. Ni whatever time I can be. Kafa Sorina, while Hanna to the more killing Akakumandra Ko. Anna, men of me condom Kulu, whatever horse and can, Namila Bankudu in the Willa. But I bought our bucket, Nikumandra, Dolcasi, Dolcana, Minia Command, and more than what a Bankudu and La Provo Jara. She opinion the Commandro Minke, Banco Bella Fulon, B. Misambalo, Nita and Marcella, Vika Fire, Political Party Jumaldo. Bansan di situ ka fa ko nganda ni mano wa fu nyinela ni da de lobdano to ya kay to be sa fe ya pressa mondira kay to bala min to min be je ni da be sa formation jobi de ni da ibe politika politique mala to banko be le ba ko wala nim banko ni mo wulta mo akida mo moti nyanda Gambia le jela na bango into so tamini nan kunkili na into so landi nyinne ya sabu in 2016 ko akanya ndara akanya ndara pour the defensive dal wo politika fodi yo kwanzo no form 4 kwanzo na candidate na gagné ya bango at that time chulo bi ya pour Gambia fali but Gambia fali in 2016 Gambia be silo kan man ko kami fo maranta silo kan ko ten silo nyanta mi kala Mandi ko kami fo yakuli ku kami me sawa sawa Only what you do for in 2026. When Mr. Mbalo, Mimbi Yaga won because Council Progressive Gambia, Ndolko, the Murna Koma, Hanna Tara Abejarla, Ninga Kuja Mini Silomanta, the Mala of Food like a professor Kala, the executive, but a woman that in the silence, the law, one and calling to hold our public officials accountable. We will never compromise on that.
Media house security force bi tam ñu ngi fi xëy na duñ leen mun a xàmmee sol uniforme waaye ñu ngi ci suñu biir waaye ñu ngi leen di nuyu yéen ñëpp bugg a jël nag bugg a tënka mbir bi rek ci gàttal rek parce que daanaka wax nañ leen te waxtu bi fu mu nekk nii sori na maanaam soo ne fu mu nekk nii caméra yi laaxal yi waaye dama bëggoon a dëgëral dara rek ci coalition of Progressive Gambians ñun buñ jógee ees bañoo door yees 2022 bañoo waajal pour bëggoon a def fii protest Supreme Islamic Council bu ñuy engagé ñun nag dafa am lu askan gi fee la lu askan gi réeree askan gi mbir daal parce que ñun dafa am luñ bindoon dañ ne su nekkee ne nguur gi 9 point demand si nguur gi pare naa ñëw pour toog ak ñun ñu wax ñun dinañ tegangum protest bi ñu déglu leen soo buñ defee loolu nguur gi ñëw engage ñu balaa waxtu bi di jot ñu toog ak ñoom ñu waxtaan ak ñoom ñu ne ñu bindal recommendations minister of trade lañ njëkk a am ñu am engagement ak minister of justice loolu yëpp am na bind nañ ay recommendations jox leen ñoom ñoo diggee woon moo di minister of trade moom moo waxoon ne dina am ak ñun dialogue ba pare dina organise press conference ba pare dina ci invite media bi ñu wax Gambian si ñoom lan lañ leen amal loolu moo tax coalition of Progressive Gambians ñu taxawee woon boor ñaareel bi maa ngi déggoon ñi ngay wax lan moo tax coalition of Progressive Gambians suñu ootee nit ñi yeneen mouvement si du ñu dee ñëw usi waaw loolu foog naa ñoom ñoo waroon a answer that question lan moo tax du ñu dee ñëw usi waaye ñun coalition of Progressive Gambians lépp lu waay di oote ci biir réew bi duñ ko tànk xam lu su nekkee mbirum réew bi la parce que dañ gëm ne du ñëpp bokk ñëpp ci am cër mouvement si nag ñu ngi leen di ñaax ñun ñëpp nañ leen ñëw together Mama Gambia dafa soxla ñu ñëw together pàccoo bi mel ni ay oppositions ñun duñu ay oppositions te suma naataangoo yi wax nañ ko ñun ñëwuñ pour ut place li réew bi tëddee loolu lañ gis ne la fi ñaawoon démba 2016 mooy dagan tey di continuer suma naataangoo yi wax nañ lépp pour gën a dëgëral rek coalition of Progressive Gambians mu ngi fii pour stay mu ngi here to stay bon nag ñuy wax yéen ndaw yi ñun fu mu nekk nii soo leen xoolee di nga xam ne ñun ñëpp ay kilifa lañ fu mu nekk nii ñun ay màggat la ñoo jël jëmuñ ay pour màggate dañoo jëm màgget léegi future bi ci seen loxo la nekk yéen youth si yéen moom seen noppa suñ wootee ngeen ñëw ngeen déglu jëfee ko parce que ñun lu ñoo nekk ci taxaw fii di ñaxtu di wax tey pour seen njëriñ la ëllëg parce que waajur bu nekk mu ngi wis lépp lu moo liggéey doomam bi ëllëg njëriñoo ko bon nag ñuy wax ñëpp ñi fi teewee tey leen di gërëm leen di santaat ne leen coalition of Progressive Gambians ñun nag duñ tànk xam lu dara li nga xam ne ci jëm kanam yi réew bi la seetuñ ku ko oo dañoo déglu li ngay oote su nekkee li ngay oote njëriñi ñëpp la dinañ la ñëw fekkale si dafa des na ci askan gi di wax askan gi ben tey leetut élection baa ngay jege politique yi xasante politique yi saagante réew bi bugguñ ko réew bi dañ pàccoo tur mocc te ñun dañ soxlante Mama Gambia moo ñu bokk a njaboote ñun ñëpp saagante opposition leaders yi political party leaders yi nañ ko tegee boor te ku la ñëw ne la ne tey lii ak lii laa am suma naataangooy wax nañ ko laaj leen seen programme lan leen amal te political parties yu bare yi ci biir dëkk bi du ñu pàccoo nii loolu duñu si génnee de du ndaw wax na ko fii ci kaalama angale ñun day fa mel ni incumbent bi rek la ñoo dimbale movement si tasaaroo nii ku nekk taxawee boor ku nekk jóoroo boor comme mel ni Sami Jaxatu loolu dafa war a génn ci réew bi youth si ñoom ñooy di future leaders of this country ëllëg youth si nañ jël seen ownership te maa ngi jël opportunité bi nag baagwee bi xol yaa ngee jooy te benn tey noppeenguñ su mu nekk dëkk bi mu ngi ci dëj waaye nag dégg nañ lu kilifa réew bi wax moom nag youth si jël leen seen ownership buñ leen desperate loo jaxase loo leen xiif loo leen ba ngeen caalit ngeen bàyyi géej gi bàyyi dëkk bi dugga ci géej gi wala dugga ci desaat bi rey seen boppa boo leen demee uti ji seen loxo bu jotee gannaaw boo leen ñëwee fekk ñoom yàq nañ dëkk bi pare da ngeen di start at zéro boo nag ñu leen di wax ne balaa ngeen di xaru ci géej gi wala ngeen di xaru ci desaat bi xaru leen ci seen biir réew ngeen xaru am loi yu baax ngeen xaru laaj nguur gi EU bi lum jox pour ndaw yi laajte leen seen cër ndaw yi mobilise leen seen boppa ni ngeen dee mobilise seen boppa 200 ndaw utal benn gaal mobilise leen seen boppa 500 youths fuñ taxaw laajte li nga xam ne loolu lañu yeeloo nguur gi daleen uyu bon nag ñu ngi sant ñëpp di gërëm ñëpp wax neexul nag suñu waxee lu ñaaw nga xam ne suñu matadi la su nekkee lu rafet nag ngeen xam ne ci yàlla la jógee ay jubluwaay bi yëpp mooy beta Gambia